All right, let's see if this lady is speaking facts when it comes to the issues of the black community. Let's see.
We chose greed. We chose a bag over a man. We chose to not have our children. We would rather have a bunch of money than have our children have a father in the home.
I disagree.
So you're not saying no one. No. You have to know the history. This is proven
speaking
facts.
history.
No,
men
this is proven
were not
facts.
able to work and provide for their
That's
families.
absolutely
We were
false.
forced to take
That's
the
false.
government check.
That's false.
Listen how she goes right into blame and, basically blaming another source for the behavior of, women. And it all comes down to not being able to take some level of control over your own actions. There always has to be someone else to blame. So that's why her first rebuttal was that.
Couldn't stay in the house if they were there.
That's false.
Then how were they going to feed the children?
False.
And where was
the
it coming
children
from?
were fed. Women were greedy
because it was coming from the government.
No. Let's
but
get
if the
this
husband
clear.
was home, he wouldn't be employed.
Black women wanted to be like white women in the Cosmopolitan magazine. The woman who started Cosmopolitan magazine, the main editor, she is now a Catholic, and she repented from what she did. She said we were teaching women because we wanted all women to feel that we had a gripe with white men. And so, this is public knowledge. You look it up on YouTube.
And that's true. This is public knowledge. You can literally see her say this stuff. They were selling all of these magazines and media, which were using feminist ideologies and pushing it onto different communities, not just the black community, but they're selling a certain image, that in the end was detrimental for those women. And it's funny because what happens is those women always end up repenting, going back, saying, hey, I didn't actually believe that, or I wish I didn't believe that, or whatever it is. But in the end, it always comes out that the mindset that was being programmed into women was never healthy. But then the younger women, they don't want to believe that, and they don't want to listen to that. That's why this woman's having trouble just acknowledging this is publicly documented stuff. Like what she's saying, you can just research and look into the history to see if she's right or wrong.
She talked about it.
Yes, absolutely. They wanted black women to also be part of their movement in other races because it wasn't enough. The black woman and the black man had to stay together in the U.S. because it was the only way for us to overcome. What they did was with Cosmo, they lied. These were women that would say, you know what, there's a single woman moved to New York. She's sleeping with different men. She has her life. She has her own money, her education. She's getting these jobs. These women were promoting promiscuity and living a certain lifestyle when they were all married. They were all lying and making up these people because it was supposed to be a fantasy magazine. But women were taken as gospel and real. So what happened is...
And this is why it's evil. This is why the system is evil. This is why these corporations are evil. Because they're taking advantage. They are manipulating. We always talking about women being manipulated by men. They're being manipulated by the system and the media, and no one seems to really care. Women are prone to fantasy because they think with imagination and they think in an idealistic way. So when you understand that, you see that this is truly evil because they are prone. They are vulnerable in that way. But again, no one seems to care.
Black women saw the white woman as pinnacle, because we're not going into colorism and all that. That's not what this show is about. But we saw the white woman as what to strive for as black women. We're saying these white women are free. These white women are independent. These white women don't need no man. I don't need mine. He's not doing enough. He's not good enough as a black man. When our entire lives, how we came out of everything we did in the U.S. was through the black man and black woman coming together. So we allowed these women and these corporations who wanted to make money off of our backs, and they knew that we had a insecurity about being dark, about being black, and we wanted to strive to the higher societies because white women were seen as the highest. So we think we want to be like white women, get our education, do this, do that. When those women were lying even to other white women, they were lying to us as black women. So then the government stepped in. There's whole documentaries about this on black history, and black historians will not refute this. This is what we all know as gospel in our communities. So what you're saying right here is black children, when we were being provided for, but it wasn't enough. We wanted to be like white women, and we had greed in our eyes. We had envy in our eyes, and we're like, I don't need no black man. I can do better. I can do bad all by myself.
And the system, you could say, is genius for this, just allowing media and magazines and movies to sell a certain narrative that would divide us, because as we know, when you're divided you can easily be conquered. And it's just sad to see how people willingly just go along with it. Like, this doesn't make sense, but it shows the strength of the ego, the strength of the ego dictating how you think, how you move, that you would even think being by yourself is healthier, more empowering than being in unison with your counterpart. It's amazing. It's amazing. It literally is like the slave owners, but reincarnated.
And so our children, it's a false narrative to say our children were not eating. Our children were eating.
Again, and all of this stuff, you know, if you go back far enough, you can see how the system, if you go right back to slavery, you can see how this mindset to divide man and woman is there. It's literally written out. This is what's so crazy. There are speeches and writings or documents highlighting the things and the agenda being pushed right back, 500 years ago. And people just still fall for it now. It's amazing. Man, woman, supposed to be together. We're stronger together than apart. This is like 1 + 1. But to many people, they can't answer. They don't know the answer to 1 + 1, it seems. But anyway, I want to know what you think, right? I think this applies to more than just the black community. Now, I think it applies to everyone. It applies to white community, black community, Russian community, whatever community you're in. As long as you're in the West, this applies to you. It's not about skin color anymore. But I want to know, what do you think? Comment down below, let Reemus know, and I'll see you in the next video.